Yes, it is. It's time to get in the ring here with DJ D. Kooks here on Monco Radio, where music and minds meet. It is a beautiful Friday, and guess who I have in studio?
Yes, I make my return to the studio. It is it's cloudless outside. It's actually gorgeous outside.
Gorgeous.
Friday, June 9, 2017. Plenty to get to here. We've got Extreme Rules to recap. We've got the rematch to look forward to.
Sunday morning, my friend. Sunday morning. Sunday.
Yes. And in between Extreme Rules and Money in the Bank, New Japan's going to take over the wrestling world for a few hours.
Yes. Yes, and we're leading off with New Japan.
Yes, we got the Best of Super Juniors happening.
Best of Super Juniors final.
Yes.
Let's just get right into the match. Nothing really of importance happened in the
preliminaries.
undercard
Stuff, yeah.
Except for Tetsuya Naito, all Wilson Gobernables beat Taguchi Japan of Ryusuke Taguchi, Satoshi Kojima, Juice Robinson, Ricochet, and Dragon Lee, which was fun. Good 4.25 star match. And look, Taguchi Japan is real. Taguchi Japan.
I think it's nice.
It's a marvel. It's such a marvel. I love Taguchi Japan.
Okay, Taguchi Japan's pretty good.
Yeah, and they look up, and Ryusuke Taguchi is just wonderful.
That's my style right there. Not bad.
And Tanahashi will wrestle at Dominion. But the big story, Kushida defeats Will Ospreay in an absolutely bonkers, must-see, 5-star match, according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. 5 stars, according to a lot of other people. 4.75, according to me and B. Spike.
Basically, everyone else. Basically, 5 stars to a lot of people and 4.75 to everyone else. This match was insane. It started a little slow, which I think is probably why I go slightly lower than the 5. We did get the DBZ spot, which normally is reserved for Ospreay Ricochet matches, but we did get a nice DBC spot early on in the match.
I see you there, and then this was nuts.
Then we had that shooting star on the back of the neck of Kushida, which was
he was draped over the rope.
He was draped over the top rope, and then Ospreay did the shooting star on the back of the neck of Kushida.
And then we'll follow it up with this.
The next one we have is a reverse Rana spiked on the apron, Ospreay to Kushida. The back of Kushida's head and neck just met the apron. It was ugly.
And then we had your favorite spot in the match.
Which, this was incredible. Basically, think Canadian Destroyer, but DDT form.
Essex Destroyer.
It was known as the Essex Destroyer.
And he spiked him.
That was the other part. He spiked Kushida. Kushida landed on the top of his head. Yeah, I thought Kushida was done. I thought he was done for that.
Thank God we have all these gifs of this.
No kidding.
And then
to finish,
the Back to the Future.
Yeah, this was nuts.
Off the top rope.
That inverted
cradle driver.
Inverted cradle driving suplex. And then Kushida holds on to it. That's the other part. He holds on to it. I thought Ospreay was done from the first one, but then he gets hit with the second one, and that was the 3 count. But it was.
And the reviewer for Voice of the Wrestling gave it 5 stars, who was Dylan Justin. So
it was amazing. It is certainly a match of the year candidates from pretty much everybody who's seen the match. This was incredible.
This was really incredible, and really lends to the redemption story of Kushida as he got beat by Hiromu Takahashi in 2 minutes at Sakura Genesis, wins Best of the Super Juniors, and now gets his rematch at Dominion 611 in Osaka-jo Hall. If you guessed that this event was on 611 in Osaka-jo Hall, you would be correct.
So, in a sense, what we're getting at here is that they've really set up the two main events are in place now for this Sunday. That's going to be good. Kushida Takahashi won, and then you have the rematch.
You have we have a few rematches from Wrestle Kingdom.
And then the other one being Tamahashi in his rematch with Naito.
But we'll go in order of the importance of the card here. We first have a dark match of David Finlay, Shota Umino, and Tomoyuki Oka versus Hirai Kawato, Katsuya Kitamura, and Tetsuhiro Yagi. And I predict Finley's team will win. Finley will pin Yagi.
I think Finley could be one of those guys to have a breakout summer. Finley, he's certainly getting it done. He's certainly getting much better. He's been really productive since he's been done with the Young Lion training. I think really he's got a very good chance to have that breakout G1 type of style coming up in the next.
I don't think he'll be in G1.
No, I don't. You don't think he's?
No, because he's thrown in the pre-show match. This is the pre-show match.
They're not going to go from pre-show to G1 not that fast.
No,
that's probably another year.
The literal children of NJPW and David Finley. Literally.
No, he'll still. I think he'll be productive. He could be another one of those. Actually, yeah, I think I'm a year ahead. I'm a year ahead thinking of Finley. A year ahead of thinking of having that breakout run.
Then we have the old men match.
Yep.
Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Yushin Liger, Manami Nakanishi, and Satoshi Kojima versus Tiger Mask W, a.k.a. Kota Ibushi, if you didn't know. Togi Makabe and Yuji Nagata. I think Twin Tigers, Makabe, and Nagata win.
I would agree. I think W gets the pin. I think W will get the fall. I'm just thinking, will they have him pin Liger, or how will they have this go? But I think, yeah, the Tiger Mask's team get the pin. When do you think they'll actually do the reveal of
I have no idea, because Kota Ibushi's a wacky gentleman.
Yeah.
Kota Ibushi, he flips off balconies. Yep. He's a weird dude.
Yes, he is.
So we never know. We'll never know. Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship gauntlet. We have Los Ingobernables of Japan's the champions, which they will probably not retain because they never retain this belt.
No, that belt never stays where it's supposed to. I wish it did, though.
Ibushi, Evil, and Sonata versus the Bullet Club of Battle of Fale, Hangman Page, and Yujiro Takahashi versus Chaos of Tomohiro Ishii, Toriano, and Yoshihashi. Suzuki Gun of Zack Sabre Jr., Taichi, and Yoshinori Kanoharu.
Why is Suzuki Gun's team stacked?
And then Kikuchi Japan has Juice Robinson,
Ricochet, and Ryusuke Taguchi.
I don't care who wins this.
Ooh.
I don't care.
I don't either, but I'm gonna go with Sabre's team.
I'll go with Taguchi Japan.
Okay.
Because I love Taguchi Japan.
All right.
Then we have Roppongi Vice versus the Young Bucks. There's literally 1,000% chance that the Young Bucks will win this match.
Yep, I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah, New Japan's running 2 shows in Los Angeles. You don't think the Young Bucks are going to be the tag team champions?
They're the most over team in New Japan, and you have them coming up.
Yeah, you're crazy if you don't think that. So your most over tag team is, and one of the draws of the
U.S. scene.
Of the U.S. scene. Yeah,
no,
the Young Bucks are.
It has to be the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks are winning. Poor Roppongi Vice.
Right.
War Machine versus Guerrillas of Destiny. If you don't think Guerrillas of Destiny are winning because
Bullet Club's the most overstable,
Bullet Club is the most overstable, then you better be getting yourself.
Yeah, no, I think it's got to be. I mean, some people actually do think War Machine's going to win, but I think Guerrillas of Destiny get it done.
I think God gets it done too. Cody versus Michael Elgin.
This is a good match.
1, 2, 3. Cody.
I do expect Cody to get this done, but this would be good because Elgin kind of plays that Cesaro role perfectly as that guy who it makes a lot of people look really, really good. Not that Cody doesn't look good on his own, but he makes Elgin does play a great role of that. He'll make a lot of dudes look really good. I just think of him as a bigger Cesaro. He's not nowhere near as agile, but I think he's basically Cesaro in New Japan.
Then we have Hiromu Takahashi versus Kushida for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship.
Now we get to the meat of the order. I think Kushida gets it done.
I think Kushida gets it done. It will be emotional. It will be an epic match.
Yeah.
But then we have the Never Openweight Championship Lumberjack Death Match.
Yes.
It just couldn't be a Lumberjack match. It had to be
a Lumberjack Death Match.
Which is a normal Lumberjack match for those of you that will be disappointed.
That's unfortunate. That's really sad. Why are you hyping this? Why are you gassing this up? Why are you gassing this up only for it to be mediocre? It's Batman Superman all over again. I think Goto keeps it.
I think Suzuki keeps.
Okay.
You think Goto wins?
Gets it. I think Goto gets it. I should say.
Yeah. Naito Tanahashi. I think Hiroshi Tanahashi pulls it off.
Yeah, they evened it up in one. I think that was a very good. Naito getting a signature win so far at Wrestle Kingdom. I think this will be a very good rematch. I think Tanahashi gets it. I think Tanahashi gets it done to even up one
and Naito will win G1. That's the.
I think that's that would be smart money. We'll go to Naito.
Prediction. One of the predictions is I'm going to really enjoy this. The rematch that everyone is.
Yes. The rematch from what basically broke the 5-star meter on everyone's count. If you haven't seen this match by now, where have you been the last half year?
Where have you been?
I mean, like, if you've been living under a rock for the last 6 months, and say 6 months and 5 days, these two men had the match of the year, and there's no
on the 4th day of January.
And there's no they had the match of the year on the 4th day of January, and nothing will top it. Let's call. We can call it a fight right now. Nothing's going to top.
No, people can try, but
you're basically fighting for second. You're
fighting for second. Yeah.
That match was the Warriors, and everyone else might as well be the Cavaliers. That's what you're doing here. That's pretty much what happened. It's Omega and Okada, the rematch. We have our thought process. Can they approach the 6-star match they had? Can they? What are they going to do? Like, how can they do more, or what can they do differently from this? If you change nothing, you're probably getting a 5-star match. Yeah, it's a matter of just what.
Will Omega hit the One-Winged Angel?
Yes. That's the question. Well, because that we knew that was the build up. That's the other part. That's one of the parts that made this match so brilliant. Is the psychology of if Omega hits the One-Winged Angel, we figured, is that it? He never got a chance to hit it. He hit a Rainmaker or two, but he never hit the One-Winged Angel. That's the question. Can he actually hit Okada with it? And if he does, will Okada kick out? That's that's one of the psychological parts to look out for here. How many Rainmakers would it take to beat
I don't give a crap who wins. I won't complain either way.
No.
I won't complain if it's a draw.
Nope.
I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this, but I think it's going to be a draw.
He thinks it's a 60-minute draw.
I think it's going to be a 60-minute draw. Omega hits One-Winged Angel at 59:55. 1, 2.
And the clock runs out.
Clock runs out. It's epic. Everyone goes nuts.
I think Omega wins it. I think it's a similar ending, but I think he hits the One-Winged Angel a little bit earlier and gets the pin. Actually, I'm debating will it be 1 or will it be 2? That's my only question. Will it take 1 or will it take 2 One-Winged Angels to get this done? I think he hits it towards the very end of the time limit and wins it there.
The only thing that's guaranteed as the Warriors sweeping the Cavs is this match will be awesome.
Yeah, so that's effectively what we're expecting here between Omega and Okada too.
Now we get to WWE stuff. Extreme rules.
I like this pay-per-view better than he did. I'm just warning you now. I like this better than him.
I thought it was okay, but not.
I like some of the matches
great.
A little bit better. So Kalisto versus Apollo.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
They really.
I enjoyed this.
Solid. They really put them in. They're getting better together.
I gave it 3.5 stars.
A very solid, productive match to start the show here. And finally, Apollo Crews hitting a little bit of a stride here. But whatever Titus is doing with him, it's working. So
that DDT,
nice tilt the world, nice head scissors to tilt the world DDT. Beautiful flow by Kalisto. So this was certainly a very productive match, and I think you have the preview stuff. No, you don't have the preview stuff on.
I have the 3.5 stars.
But a very solid match, though. Well done by both parties here.
Yes. Then we have, if Ambrose is disqualified, he will lose his Intercontinental title.
I like the psychology that was played here, which is why I like.
A lot of people did not like this match.
I did. I liked it. You got a 1 and 4th. You got 2 and a 4th rating, 2.5 rating. I put it in the 3 range. I think it was. I like the psychology. I thought that's what they would do just at the start of the match, but they played it through the entire length of the match, where all of Miz's antics kept trying to get Ambrose disqualified. I thought
the opener was cold. I thought it was really cold. I
kind of wish this wasn't the opener.
I thought it was too long at 20 minutes. There was a lot of things wrong with it. That's why I gave it 2.5 stars.
I gave it 3 1/4. I thought it was I love the psychology. I kind of wish it wasn't the opener. I kind of wish Swan and Sasha's tag match was. And you'll get a decent pop from it because Swan being from Baltimore. But I like the match all in all. I think Miz is IC champion and all of his antics. I'm pretty good with Miz being Intercontinental champion for the 7th time, which makes him the second most winningest IC champion. Only Jericho with 9 has more reigns.
Speaking of Noam Dar and Rich Swann and Sasha Banks defeat Alicia Fox and Noam Dar.
Fairly quick. After Swan's pop, it was fairly quick and efficient. Well done by Swan and Dar to get this done. It looks like Swan's moving on to a different reign, a different part. And Noam Dar, we'll get to him in a moment with 205 Live. But it was
this was incredible.
It was solid, and it was a good move that was good by Sasha to see that. That was pretty cool. The double knees that she does from the top all the way to the floor, basically basically destroying Noam Dar in that instance. Then Dar got finished off by the Phoenix Splash by Swan. So Swan gets the pin in his hometown in Baltimore.
So and must have killed her knees, though. Now we get to the most decisive, divisive, polarizing.
I wish this was
ugly, horrendous, stupid, idiotic. I could put a lot of adjectives towards this. Kendo stick.
None of them are good.
None of them are good. No. This wasn't good. This was in the dud category. If Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt didn't exist, this would be worst feud of the year.
I'd argue that this was. At least Orton and Bray had a nice build-up. This died.
Orton and Bray sucked. That sucked on a whole different level.
You don't like the slow play? No.
You
guess he doesn't like the slow play.
No. Orton Bray sucked. Orton Bray sucked. I would disagree with you. Come on. Orton Bray sucked.
The match this rivalry died at Payback. They did a whole lot wrong with this since Alexa winning the title. Alexa winning the title was fine. And all the stuff she did up until she pulled out the kendo stick had been good. Once they went this route, this rivalry died. And this was not good. The sad thing is, I thought they could have done something had this match gone longer.
No. I think the problem was, it would have been in negative star territory if it went longer.
They played this up with a question, could Bayley actually swing the kendo stick?
Which, are you kidding me? She is supposed to be the one conquering the bully.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the one who heroically conquers the bully, proves her wrong, and
wins the title.
But no, we can't do that story because we have to have 50-50 booking, and this
wasn't 50-50 booking.
No, it was
twice.
I'm making a point here. Come on.
Talk to him. I know
this was stupid.
Talk to him.
This was stupid. Like, you got the crowd to boo Bayley. That's not the point of Bayley.
Nope.
Bayley's supposed to be a role model for little girls. My God.
You gave her a match where it's legal to use a weapon and you don't have her use the weapon. What sense does this make?
They don't get Bayley and they'll never get her.
No.
Which pisses me off because she has potential to be a freaking star.
I told you when I first saw her. I thought of her as the female Rey Mysterio. That's exactly who she needs to be, and exactly who she needs to be cast at.
Come on!
And we saw Rey could get
down.
This
was pathetic.
When it had weapons involved. We saw Rey could get down.
I gave it -1 star. That's how bad.
I don't blame you for doing it, quite honestly.
This match was horrendous. Alexa's horrendous in the ring. Shut up!
Alexa's, as brilliant as she is on the mic, her ring skills have not completely followed her.
And you screwed up the Bayley character. That's where the -1 star comes from.
I think they messed up here with Bayley.
They messed up.
They messed up with her. And we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, where he kind of brought up the point. He thought the women's division WWE is not being done right. I disagreed. I think SmackDown is being done well.
Spot
I think
in this match.
I think Raw has been doing a pretty bad job with their top women.
Hit her already! Hit her!
Who we know are Bayley and Sasha. But after them, they seem to not know what they're doing. They seem to be terrified to know what they're doing. This was dumb. I really like. Why didn't they?
That was so dumb.
That was really dumb. Alexa doing what she did with the candlestick, fine. Bailey not using it, not fine. Not a good look.
And then this stupidity comes
Really?
with more stupidity.
I like this
Let's
match.
do stupidity.
All right,
Let's Jeff Hardy freaking diving back into the cage, putting himself back into the match. That's stupid.
No, the part
It's
that got me.
stupid.
The part that got me. I understood why he did it because Matt was being 2-on-1. Matt was being 2-on-1. It would have ended horribly for Matt had Jeff not come back in to save his brother. I understood that. Why the
But
match?
it was unbeknownst to any of us that Jeff re-entered it into the match after.
That's common sense.
That's not common sense.
How is that not common sense?
No, it's not. No. The escape the cage thing is dumb.
It's
the
part.
Stupid.
That's the part. There's the part.
I can't.
That's the part I
sorry,
didn't like
Beast
about
Mike.
that.
I can't let logic go.
Okay.
Even though it's WWE and the company defies logic.
No, that was the part. The fact that you could only win the match by both members escaping the cage. That's the part that I didn't like. Why can't you just have a pin? Why don't you just have a pin or submission in the middle of the ring? What sense would it
The
would it
escape
make?
the cage
That
match
was
is
dumb. That was stupid.
incredibly
The
dumb.
match itself, I think, would have been fine had it been just pinfall or submission and no escape of the cage. That would have been okay. Because a lot of
Thank you.
Because think about
Just
it. A lot
walk
of
out the door, you dumb bastards. Thank you.
Think about it.
Thank you.
A lot of this build-up was Cesaro and Sheamus running away from the Hardys. Which, okay, I get it. That's where the escape part comes in. The problem is with this, you have those two big physical guys inside of a cage with the Hardys. There's no need to run. I think you beat them up and you win by attrition. So they were the right two to win. Cesaro and Sheamus were the right guys. That's fine. Then winning the match is okay. The fact that it happened by escape, not good.
No,
not good.
no. It was a dud. I digress.
I did better than you did, but still not good.
And then, what's more exciting than cruiserweights in a submission match?
I would have think this one should have been a ladder. This one probably should have been a ladder.
God.
I get it. Their signature moves are submissions. I understand
so
that.
dumb.
I wish this were a
It's
ladder.
cruiserweights. They're supposed to be flipping and flying.
Which they did a
Not-
little bit of.
I know they did a little bit of it, but
these
not
are two
enough.
Guys, but these are two guys that can tech wrestle. So I didn't have an issue considering
But
both,
do you
both their
remember
main
the
moves.
Rey Juventud Guerrera great submission match? Seriously. Do you remember
Okay.
Ricochet Will Ospreay submission match? No! No, what's the point of this?
Okay, that's fair. that point is fair.
Thank you.
I'll give you that one. That point is fair.
I digress.
That point is fair. Which I get it. Why I understood submission. You have last chance read from Aries, and you have two proficient submission moves and two proficient submission users, which is why I got and understood why this went submission. This could have been better as a ladder. This could have been better as a lumberjack. This could have been better in several other counts that I understood submission. Neville winning it is the right guy. Neville clearly is the right guy to hold the title for now. I would love to see Neville Alexander. I think Alexander is the most comparable to Neville in terms of all-around style, except for the submission. Neville Alexander I would love to see going forward. Or even Tozawa. I think that would be entertaining. But those are probably the next two guys I'd love to see fight Neville for the title.
Fatal 5-way for the number one contendership.
This was good.
This was good. I agree.
This was entertaining.
This saved the show for me.
I thought that obviously we both agreed this was the best show, the best match of the night. We clearly would agree with that. 4.25 is not terrible either, but this was a very, very good match to end the show with.
Meltzer gave it 4.5, but I don't know what he's sniffing.
I can go at most 4.25. I thought this was. It was nice that it started off a little slow, and then it picked up the pace real quick. And then we got the spots made sense. Joe and Bray double teaming people made sense. I thought that was cool. And all in all, I thought it was a very productive end to the show. And Joe winning it, I think, makes some sense.
Yes.
I got no issue with Joe winning it.
I have no issue with it either.
I think all five guys are going to get a shot.
Brock and Finn is going to be safe for SummerSlam.
I think all five guys are going to get a shot at Bray, at Brock for the title, eventually. The only one that may not is Bray. I don't know where you figure Bray into this, but the other four are definitely getting shots, and we'll see what happens. What they do, Bray maybe on a special or something. But I think that was smart. Joe getting his shot, and we'll jump into Raw. with it right away. Where basically the tenor of the night, the mood of the night was Samoa Joe. He was clearly the signature guy of the evening. Yeah, it started with Bray losing to Roman, which was a fine match. That was a fine way to start the show. And then it kicked up to eventually what Joe did. In between, we had Alexa fighting Nia, and Nia basically being outsmarted by Alexa because she used Dana Brooke and Mickie James against her. So Alexa got Nia disqualified and kept the title, and then Nia laid waste to all parties involved, except for Alexa, who Alexa pretty much understood she was doomed if she had to face Nia for a long period of time. So that was understandable. We didn't really get anything from Cesaro, Sheamus, and the Hardys. So obviously, I guess they're slow playing out for a rematch at the horribly named
We got
Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire!
Which was obviously been patented by Jerry Lewis, but apparently he and the King, he came on the King's podcast, and that's kind of how they work. And he explained how they got the right to do it. And they're using the
song.
Yeah, and they're using the song, the 50 style diner thing. I love Johnny Rockets. And maybe a move before.
Have you seen the logo of the?
I did see the logo.
The big, you know what, and balls.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because of course. Why couldn't he just done King of the Ring? Why couldn't he just done King of the Ring and the winner get a shot at Lesnar at SummerSlam? Well, that would have made perfect sense. Predictable to some degree because Strowman's not there, but that would have unpredictable a little bit because of Strowman not being there. But I think that would have made a whole lot of sense. Just do King of the Ring. It would have made life a whole lot easier for all parties involved. Anyway, so we didn't get much with Cesaro, Sheamus at all. Let's see here. We didn't get too much. I don't think Finn did anything from Raw. No, he didn't. Finn didn't do anything. The main event was Joe and Rollins, but the only other thing you truly missed from this Raw was the Neville backstab to Perkins, which we'll get to on 205 Live, and it was what Joe did to Heyman. So Joe cut his promo in the middle of the show. He spit some bars on the whole thing with him and Lesnar, and about how he's a little bit jealous of what Brock does, of how Brock's lifestyle has been. And then Heyman gets put to sleep. Heyman then comes out, does his promo, and then Joe backs him up in the corner and warns him, I'm going to put you in the cookie to clutch. You're going to go to sleep. And whatever happens from there, happens from there. Which is exactly what happened here. Joe then put Heyman in the cookie to clutch. Heyman went to sleep. And then Heyman reacted, because this is exactly what Joe wanted. Heyman reacted in calling Brock Lesnar later on in the show. And
Brock's coming
to Raw next week in Cajun Country. So Joe basically played this exactly how he wanted to. Then we get more of the whodunit stuff with Enzo getting jumped and the suspicious revival being in the backstage areas at points. You can clearly see them during interviews. Enzo likes Charlie Cassery. I like Charlie Cassery. I completely understand Enzo. Let's see here. We got Big Show and Enzo destroy. As Cass got attacked this week, I should say.
How about Randy Orton or KO gets sent in the pool?
That was funny. That was great. Yeah, this broke the internet last week. Orton, who's clearly having a little bit of
fun on Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend with his kids and his wife. So one of his kids does a 450, which was nice. So that was cool. And then we get to as another one of his kids are running towards the back door. Where's Randy Orton? He was just there. And then out of nowhere, he jumps into RKO's into the pool. It was actually awesome. Well done by Randy. The other thing that you missed from Raw was the Miz's celebration, which was actually pretty funny. Miz smelled a rat a mile away once Maurice told him that she did not get the bear. And he smelled a rat a mile away. He just had to find him. He just had to find where the rat was. So first he destroyed the bear in the skull-crushing finale, which was great. And then he destroyed a grandfather clock, which wasn't so great, as Maurice stormed from the ring. So that wasn't so great. I'm sure he'll get it fixed, and I'm sure when he has between time of watching Game 4 of the finals and now, I'm sure he'll get the clock fixed, if he already hasn't. And then
apparently Lana returned.
Yeah, Lana did return. I'll explain that in a moment.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
How's her gimmick?
She at least owned it pretty good. She at least owned it decently. Anyway, so Ambrose was actually disguised as the cameraman, not the bear, and promptly gave Miz dirty deeds.
A friend of mine was the bear.
Huh?
Friend of mine was the bear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. He got destroyed by Miz, and they got the skull crushing finale for his efforts, and they got tossed out of the ring. And then Miz promptly said, "Well, kid, at least you got beaten up by the Intercontinental Champion," and then you got dumped out of the ring. So that was at least kind of funny. Then we get to the main events. the other part of the whodunit, Kurt Angle actually left the building, which allowed Ambrose to come back into the building because he really wanted to beat up Miz. That's how Ambrose got back in the building in the first place. The main event was Joe versus Rollins, and thanks to a minor distraction by Bray Wyatt, it was Rollins who got put to sleep by the Coquina Clutch, as Samoa Joe clearly owned the night on Raw this week. As we're getting closer to Joe versus Lesnar, what will Brock do now that he will be in the building in the same time with Joe? That should be entertaining this week on Raw. That's how SmackDown started, was with all the women involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match and Naomi in the ring. And Shane lowered the case to the table, and that's what the case looks like for the women. It looks better than the men's. Lana would then come out, because Lana originally wanted to jump into the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yep. I am not making this up. Naomi laughed. Naomi proceeded to laugh, and then Lana turned her attention towards Naomi only, who did not have an opponent for the night. Who did not have an opponent for the pay-per-view. And Lana then promptly said she could beat Naomi, which I really don't think she can. But anyway, that's what she pointed her attention to.
Oh, this is going to be the women's championship match. Oh no!
And I'm going to tell you how this is going to go down.
Oh no!
So we had So we got the rematch from Battleground. Not from Battleground. Rematch from Backlash. Battleground's coming up the next month. We got the rematch from Backlash with the 6-woman tag.
Oh no!
And it was Lana who ended up tripping Naomi on the apron while she was a legal woman. Tamina would then super kick Naomi. So Tamina pins the women's champion. And family member, actually, Naomi. And then later on in the evening, Naomi demanded that she fought Lana at Money in the Bank. And Shane said, okay, but you're going to put the title up. Naomi agreed. So that's why the match is happening at MITV.
Mojo Rawley does deserve a title match.
Mojo Rawley does deserve it. If you're going to do anything with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner, you're going to have them be the breakout star.
And he beat Jinder!
He beat Jinder after he won that. He beat the WWE champion. That's what led to this match. So Mojo said he wanted the men's Money in the Bank. So he said, okay. Shane was like, all right, you beat Jinder Mahal, you're in. He didn't. Jinder ended up getting it done thanks to a minor help from the Singh brothers. They didn't do anything physically. They just distracted Mojo long enough.
I gotta see this.
Oh, Thatcher House New Day was great. This was funny. That was the New Day. That was awesome. That was a great backstage segment. We saw the New Day beating up the Colognes. It was Woods and Big E who beat the Colognes with the Midnight Hour in between. Jinder ended up beating Mojo with the Colossus, which would keep Mojo out of Money in the Bank. Clearly, I hope Mojo gets more stuff as we go forward later on in the year. I would like to see Mojo get more stuff. AJ and Styles had another good match, and this time it was Styles with great tech wrestling, and which he turned a roll up into a Styles Clash. It was really smooth with how AJ did it. So AJ pins Dolph to make it 1-1 since his match was made for Money in the Bank. Orton did a solid promo. Obviously, the hook for Money in the Bank, the other hook aside from the 2 ladder matches, is Randy Orton going home and fighting Jinder for the title. So Orton continued to play that up, which I thought was solid. John Cena is returning Independence Day, which
of course,
yeah, because of course he is. And a lot
he's the face of America, not Kevin Owens.
Which, in theory, that would make a lot of sense. Cena would fight Owens for the title, and Owens keeps it somehow. So I don't know who would interfere on the behalf of him, but everyone's thinking Cena beats Jinder and then feuds with Corbin, which, not bad. I wouldn't mind that at all. Let's see here. I talked about that. Sami Zayn was going to come out for commentary. Baron Corbin saw Sami Zayn. Corbin won the fight. It was a very ugly experience for Sami Zayn. Which was led to the main event of, I told you about Naomi and Shane. And then the main event was Shinsuke versus Kevin Owens, which was a very solid match. They were very productive. It was Shinsuke and Kevin Owens with the Kinshasa. And it was Baron Corbin laying out Shinsuke with the End of Days. So Corbin kind of owned the night on SmackDown to kind of collabo with that, as opposed to Joe on Raw. 205 Live was basically about Cedric Alexander beating Noam Dar and basically chalking it up with this whole Noam Dar, Alicia Fox thing. Cedric's done with it. It was Mustafa Ali getting a win and then basically dumping on to Drew Gulak, who's continued this no high flying stuff. And the main event of the evening was actually we got a cameo appearance of Titus O'Neil, who tried to recruit Akira Tozawa to the Titus brand. That may be interesting. That may play into something. Then we got to the main event of the evening, which was Perkins after Neville turned on TJP on Raw and declared, "Okay, you got your title shot. again on 12.5 Live. Turned into a very productive match. They actually had a very good battle. Neville and TJP did. Some high flying involved, some tech stuff involved, some submission stuff involved. In the end, it was Neville with the Rings of Saturn that made Perkins submit to get it done. Although it looked like Perkins is going to win the title back in the knee bar on several occasions. But Neville with the Rings of Saturn gets it done, and Neville's title reign continues. NXT
Heavy Machinery.
Heavy Machinery won the match. This wasn't about that. That guy's partner looks like Lars Sullivan looks like he could be a problem. So Andrews was gassed up, and then Sullivan started the match, and Sullivan was actually pretty good. And then Sullivan was actually pretty good. Andrews tagged himself in, which was the worst mistake he could have made. First, he took the beating from Heavy Machinery, and then Sullivan came in, and the look on Sullivan's face, we all knew what was going to happen, and we were all terrified for Andrews.
Oh, no.
Andrews got ripped to shreds, and it was kind of savage. It was pretty savage what happened to him. It was amazing. Okay, so that
Body Strong confronts Bobby Roode.
And Bobby Roode completely bodied him on the mic. It was really... You want to way to savage somebody on a promo? Bobby Roode went completely savage and destroying Roddy Strong and blasted it. It didn't do it in like a overly, this was cold-blooded, like, kind of disrespectful way. And mentioning his kids and his fiance. But he did it in a savage, okay, this is kind of funny way to destroy Roddy Strong. So good job on Bobby Roode's part.
Sarah Logan versus Peyton Royce.
Logan wasn't bad. Logan wasn't too bad. But in the end, it was Peyton Royce with a nice sped up fisherman suplex to get it done. Peyton Royce actually did look pretty solid in the ring. She's certainly getting better right now.
Hideo Itami versus O.D. Lorcan.
I think we're getting the start of the heel turn of Itami, and Itami looked great in doing it. Lorcan and Itami actually had a very good match. I think this was the best match on NXT this week. They had a very good match, and then 3 GTSs from Itami to Lorcan put Lorcan out. And he was done from the first one, but he suffered a second and a third one. And then Cassius Ono came out and got in a little bit of a shoving match with Itami. That's the point. That's the main point of the match, other than Lorcan getting put to sleep. Ono and Itami, like they're gonna battle in Brooklyn or close to Brooklyn, and I'm looking forward to it. That was a good way to put Itami. I think this is a turning him heel.
Killian Dane and No Way Jose.
Solid. The problem with Jose was just outmatched. It turned into a power game, and Jose does not have the power to deal with Killian Dane. Jose was solid, but Dane is clearly looks like he's hitting a stride in NXT, and Dane gets it done and wins the match there. So good win for Killian Dane. But clearly, I think the signature part of NXT this week was Itami destroying Lorcan and then getting to a shoving match with Cassius Ohno. I think we could see the heel turn coming.
Woo!
So that's really your week in WWE. Obviously, Lesnar coming on Raw and SmackDown. We'll see what happens there. SmackDown keep building towards money. Actually, this is the Golem Show for SmackDown for Money in the Bank in New Orleans this week. So obviously, we'll see some play with the Money in the Bank participants, men and women, and we'll see some play with Orton and Jinder. So we'll see how that goes down there. And obviously, New Day and the Usos. Watch the Fashion Files thing, which was actually hilarious with New Day and the Fashion Police. It was actually hilarious. So this is generally the part where we're watching matches. Steve, who's talk to him?
Let's watch Flamita versus Mark Andrews from Super Strong Style 16 Progress Chapter 49 Night 1.
Oh, we should also talk, while we're on the subject of progress, we should also talk about that match with Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bate and Travis Banks?
Yeah, Tyler Bate and Travis Banks. It was another match you guys should actually go back and watch. That was the finals of a different tournament.
It's finals of the same tournament, actually.
Finals, okay. Finals of this tournament that we're into.
Yeah.
But that match was really good, that final, which had Bate and Pete Dunne, who are teammates, and their crew, and then CCK's crew came out to counteract with Bates' team, and with Bates' team with him and Andrews and Dunne. It was a really good match. Chaos from start to finish. It was really good stuff. It's clearly Britain versus Australia, the British strong style versus the Australian style, and it was heavy. They were so good. Tyler Bate as a heel is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Imagine him he's 20 and he's really good now. Imagine him at 25.
Oh,
I'm saying, like, I told you last year I thought was the year of Will Ospreay. This could be the year of Tyler Bate.
yes.
I think this could be Tyler Bate's year where he like breaks out and says, "I'm here to stay. What are you going to do about it?" That type of year.
And the Progress crowd always breaks out.
Oh yeah, the Progress crowd was great. They were great in that match, and they're going to probably be productive in this one.
This is the first round matchup.
And yes, Pete Dunne hit the pedigree during that interference.
Yes.
He hit the pedigree, and actually, Bate used the bitter end.
Yes, I saw. Yes.
He used the bitter end.
I was like, ah!
He used the bitter end, and then he immediately caught it. It's like, oh wait, that's Bate, that's Dunne's move. And then Dunne used the pedigree, so I thought that was great.
Riddle beat 7 in the 7 seconds, literally.
that's ownage. Well done, Matt Riddle. Well done.
With a knee and 1, 2, 3.
Well done, Matt Riddle.
In the first round. That's what ended the show.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not going to watch a 7-second match on this show. I don't think you've seen Flamita before.
I don't think so either.
He's awesome.
That's a whole lot of Sin Cara flow with the ring gear, but let's see what he does in the ring.
And our good friend James Smallman.
First of all, in the corner to my left, hanging from Cardiff, in South Wales, weighing 159 pounds. This is 190.
I'm looking forward to the Mayhem Classic, actually.
Mayhem? Oh, right.
The women's classic, which a lot of it's going to be recorded. And also the UK guys getting like their own type of show, their own style of show.
Yes.
Which I think that's also going to be cool. JR and Nigel calling and stuff is going to be productive.
I thought the special was good.
Oh, the special was there. Yeah, I like the special. We're done beat Andrews and Bate beat who did Bate beat?
7.
Bate beat Trent-Seven, yeah. Which led to that classic in Chicago between Dunn and Bate. Where do they have their round 3? I'm just thinking, when do they have their round 3? When and where?
Well,
If Dunn won the Super Strong Style 16, if Bate won the Super Strong Style 16, it would have been a Progress.
Yeah, he would have faced Dunn.
For the Progress title.
Right.
Exciting high flyers to come out of Mexico in many a year. Making his debut in the UK and in Progress.
So Collar will tie up into the waist lock. Let me to start the match.
This is the match that I have been looking forward to the most.
And then,
I'm genuinely pumped.
And then we got to a wrist lock.
Absolutely pumped for welcoming Flamita to a Progress.
And now Bate takes him down. And now has side leg lock.
Mysterio by Dave Meltzer. Cole's Dragon Gate is home primarily in Japan, so that hybrid.
So they're kind of feeling each other out, if you will. And that's really what this is boiling down to right now. And Andrews reverses the hold.
Well, I think that's what's interesting with
And then
Flamita.
grabs the ankle.
He isn't an orthodox lucha.
Kind of an orthodox
luchador, I
ankle
guess
lock
is
a
what
little
we would
bit.
say. Like you said, he spends predominantly most of his time in Dragon Gate in Japan.
Flamita kicks him away.
There, he spent a brief time in Triple
And then go back
A,
into
before moving away. He actually spent a brief time as Octagon Junior, believe it or not, the lineage there for the match. But he's really found himself. He's really found the real person that he is. This Flamita.
I think that's the cool part about this Progress crowd is that they're right on top of you. There is really no space. There's no barricade either. So it's like there's really no room to breathe.
What a pedigree Mark Andrews has.
Yeah, it's a unique venue, too.
This man has done. He's obviously
And then compared to other rings that we're used to, this ring is significantly smaller.
A former Natural Progression Series winner.
Yeah, we call him the Triple Crown.
Monster Factory show at the ECW Arena this Saturday.
Come up with a new name for it.
And
Yes, that's a
With
huge-
Wildcat Sports out of Louisiana.
That's a huge deal. Nicely
obviously
done.
last year's runner-up finalist.
I'll be there.
You guys really getting it in. As Andrews flips through, Flamita cartwheels through, reverses the pressure, And a side headlock.
Scramble went straight into a quarterfinal
Nope,
with
sweeps.
Whiplash.
Leg sweep.
And then beat Zach Gibson in the semifinals.
Leg sweep by this time by Andrews. Dual kip ups. And we're back to where we were.
Wow, just a little taste of the speed that both men possess. And
Yeah,
that's
this is
really
going to be
interesting point
aerial
that Mark was
mastery
the
all
wild
over the
card
place.
last year. He was the
It
guy
looks
that came
and it
from
smells
left
like it's going to be
field.
aerial
For me,
in
this
a whole
year,
lot of
that
spots
wild card
all
is
over
for me.
the
There's a lot
place.
of guys in this tournament that, okay, maybe they're making their progress debut, but there's guys that extensively wrestle each other all over the world, Europe, America.
Soccer
and
style
everything.
chants, though.
But this Flamita is a guy
The
that
soccer style
everyone's
chants.
familiar with, and it's going to be interesting to see how
Oh, it
people
was so
adapt
good.
to his style of doing things.
Yeah,
I love the soccer style crowds.
Wrestled a lot in Europe. I said
Can't wait for the World
wrestled
Cup
in
next
the
year.
UK.
Yeah.
The perfect somersault short.
And the ref with the somersault by the ref. The somersault by the ref. Good job, ref. I wasn't expecting that one, but that was good.
Down by Flamita off the ropes.
Shoulder
Here
takedown.
we go.
Oh, handspring off the ropes. Backflip. Off of Mina.
There's going to be a lot of stuff in here.
And Andrews kicks him right in the gut.
It'll be very difficult for us to call.
You're not wrong there. Up and
Oh,
over
yeah.
to Flamita.
Backflips back in the center of the ring by Flamita. Flamita comes him in. Chops him right in the chest.
Up
Picks
the
him
ropes,
up.
goes for a
And.
walk. Front
Nope.
flip, arm drag.
Arm drag off,
Onto the
off
knee.
the top. And a nice drop
That's
kick.
a beautiful drop kick.
Nice drop kick. And then a pose.
And I think the Progress Ultras approve of that. But like, we
Nice.
spoke about Flamita and this
Yeah, caught him right in the mouth,
style
too.
that he has. But let's not forget that Mark
Yeah,
Andrews
caught
is
him
a
right in his mouth.
well-travelled veteran himself, obviously spending time in
And kick right to the shoulder by Flamita.
Very well versed in that luchador
Nice.
style. Obviously been trained by the likes of Skyder and Mike Quackenbush over there.
But what
as
sort of
well.
disappointed me though about these shows, they're using Pete Dunne's WWE theme now.
Yeah, of course.
British Strong Style.
And they did mention him quite a bit during the match, during the finals, of Dunn losing to Bate, or Dunn beating Bate in Chicago, and being UK champion.
Really taking another one of these guys.
So they're clearly running with Dunn, like making it big time, which I respect.
Grounding.
In fact, and Bate by association, and also Bate doing his
He
thing.
wants to try and counter that style.
As
Basically the ropes there. Yeah.
Flamita tried to do a submission hold
Like you said, just maybe
and grab at the back of the neck, but he was but Andrews got him the ropes. Andrews also gets kicked in the gut,
He
and
is
the
very
ribs,
much a wild card, as you said.
and now on the knee. The side of the knee.
Unless you see someone up close and personal, you don't necessarily.
Flamita's controlling the pace. Now to the side of the neck. Wow, this is a different version of the garden stomps. Nicely done.
That's going to be difficult to prepare for. Arcangel's, of course, coming
Nice running uppercut. Right to a snap bear. Okay. Flamita was going for a shining wizard, but missed. Nice roll through. Double stomp.
82. And a cover.
And he hooked the near leg, but only got a one count. Actually didn't get that.
Chris Roberts. Large frame.
Flamita rolls out to the side of the outside of the ring. Holds his chest because that double stomp came in real quick.
A shot at the Progress World title coming up short. He
Had it ripped away from him, obviously, back by.
Knife edge chop.
And this is it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see.
Flamita's was better. Flamita responded in kind. This is brunette in the crowd. She's really attractive. She reacted. She was like, ooh, that would hurt.
But he's certainly made in Japan with a chop like that.
And open hand chop by Andrews.
Andrews not shying away from that overhand chop there of his own.
And leg drop. Nice standing leg drop.
Cover.
Got him one count. They gave him it too. That looked like he kicked out right before too.
Used to adversity. He's used to being the underdog. So it's going to be interesting to see if them recent losses in the title matches are going to motivate him.
Andrews locks the arm.
Going to sort of weigh heavy.
And now he's locked the arm with his leg, and now he's going for
An octopus.
Stretch.
Octopus stretch. And he's stretching out.
And yeah,
He's got it.
Arcangel's, of course, a former pro.
And he's got it.
Had that ripped away from him.
And if he wanted to, yeah, the real question is, would he try to inflict even more pain, or would he try to just lock his hands? If she locked the hands, then a nice back suplex.
Beautifully done.
He didn't hook either leg,
It's going to
and
be something that comes
he
up
got
in
a
this
2
match.
count.
Obviously, Mark Andrews used to be the smaller guy in the match. These guys evenly matched. You don't tend to see a lot of high-impact suplexes from Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
we got some tech wrestling here. We got some tech wrestling here.
The same, perhaps. Both realizing that they're both incredibly dangerous.
There's
high
Flamita.
flyers. Maybe they need to try and ground
He's in a little bit of trouble.
the
Nice
elbow.
forearm in the corner by Andrews.
Different part of their offense. to
It's
get the
fine.
job done.
And then an even nicer uppercut.
We will see some high flying before too
And it comes
long.
back with a forearm.
think they're just trying to wear each other down a little bit.
We're getting forearm exchanges.
Forearms in the center of the
Yep,
ring.
we're getting forearms.
Neither man giving an inch. Neither man.
Both guys are swinging with forearms. And now Flamita taking charge with the forearms. And the fans going with C.
Flamita seems to have the advantage here off the ropes, and he comes big
And
drop kick
gets
from Andrews.
nice
Not
drop kick
landing.
by Andrews. Andrews hooks the far leg this time and kick out.
Bad landing there from Flamita off that drop kick.
Yeah, and it's that whiplash effect that Andrews has. He puts that extra.
Once again, Andrews controlling the pace.
Offense, and it's interesting to see, like you said, it's sometimes not used to that, but Andrews again.
Shoulder driven into the gut.
To a corner.
In the corner.
Wrench in the arm.
Andrews hooks the arm. Flamita's other arm.
Hooks the rope.
Smart by Flamita.
Knife edge chop from
And
Andrews.
knife is chopped by Andrews as he broke his grip with the arm. And then Flamita broke his grip with the rope.
Oh, big boot.
And Andrews ran directly into a big boot and ran directly into the post and a 619.
From Flamita.
Here we go, top rope.
And Flamita's bringing the crowd up with him. What's Flamita going to do?
Flamita.
Missile drop kick.
From outer space.
Well, Flamita's about to go to work.
Clearance on that
I
one.
think Flamita's about to go to work. Yep, okay, Flamita's about to go to work. Tope con hilo.
From Flamita.
I love that when you say Tope con hilo in your accent, Matt.
The most northern
was good,
Spanish
that was
you'll
good.
ever hear.
Tope con hilo.
Flamita in control now.
And this is what I love about these two guys. They're not afraid to take a chance.
Yep.
You know,
That's
they're
true.
going there and just putting
Facts.
everything on the line.
Commentators
That's
actually
high
live for the
stakes,
match.
you
Yep,
know,
and they're
high
saying
risk
it's
offense.
true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now,
Seems to be
Flamita's got control now.
And this match
And
is switching to win.
handspring off the
Into a
rope. Back elbow.
Beautiful.
Nice,
from
nice,
Flamita.
nice. Steady shooting star.
Landing shooting star. Effortless.
Hooks the leg.
Something
And we got a 2 count.
as well.
And just kicks out. That quick sudden offense by Flamita, though. I think that's the part that's as I'm looking at him.
Offense of these two men. So
Pretty good stuff.
surely both men know how to counter that offense that they'll be throwing at each other.
As he runs right, Flamita runs right into a boot, and it blocks Insecurity. That was nice by Andrews. And a Hurricane Runner from the second rope.
Gets some separation. In he comes.
Double knees.
Double knees.
Northern
Northern
Lights.
Light suplex rolls it through.
Northern Lights rolls
We know
through.
what comes after this, Callum.
Moonsault.
And
Standing moonsault.
standing moonsault. And his knees actually hit him in the gut. 2. And a kick out by Flamita.
There.
Back and forth.
Yeah, that was a nice standing moonsault. It looked like his knees actually hit him in the chest. Not
extended period
Andrews' actual chest.
of dominance, but
And
no
now-
one has found that move yet, or that moment, or that counter to
You want to
really
talk about that
capitalize.
moment. Mark Andrews going to the
Andrews
top.
going to the top.
That shooting star.
Andrews up top here might have taken a bit too long
Nope.
too long to go for it.
And Andrews knew.
Nice guy by Flamita.
Flamita
Andrews saw it
move.
coming.
Andrews rolls through.
Push back.
Goes to the corner. Nice elbow.
Oh,
Ooh.
just dumping him on his
He
face.
tried a head scissors. Double stomp to the back. And a knee to the face. That's Flamita's about to go to work.
Strike after strike here. Double underhook.
Double underhook.
Into a
Oh, to a backbreaker.
backbreaker.
Ow.
One,
Double underhook to a
two.
backbreaker. Nice. Into the kick out by
He's going to
Andrews.
leave you hanging there, man.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with it. Is he going to go like a
pile
plunge, or was he going to go pile driver? Like, there's a lot of ways he could have gone with it.
Something else.
Backbreaker was not one of the ways I was expecting.
Taste of what Flamita's got to
good.
offer.
Flamita into the hands.
Springboard? Caught into a jumping neck breaker.
Covered, had it counted into that neck breaker.
Caught into a jumping neck breaker by Andrews. And now Andrews like he's about to go to work.
Flamita.
Oh, Flamita knows it's coming.
Moonsault
He
off
still
the
gets
apron.
moonsaulted.
Almost,
Andrews lands on his feet.
mirror images of themselves. The moment that Mark Andrews gets the offense, out goes Flamita. There's a big dive to the outside. It's interesting. These both men so similar in the way that they're going around this match.
Andrews,
Shooting star.
Shooting star from Mark Andrews. Cover, but only a 2.
Flamita kicks out. Andrews did hook the leg, but he kicked out.
Similar offenses. You wonder what it's going to take to get a win here for either man.
The fans have been digging this match from the go.
Andrews, one of those popular guys.
Andrews coming to going to the top
He needs to have a
rope.
good showing in this tournament. And you feel like perhaps winning Super Strong.
Flamita's near the center of the ring. Flamita gets up, then does the Insecurity. Andrews played no defense for it.
Oh,
Oh boy. This could be something.
Oh,
And this will definitely be something. Flamita's got him. Andrews is on the second rope. Flamita's on the top. Nearly slipped. And Hurricane lands on his feet. Andrews landed on his feet. Andrews landed on his feet and rolled through. Flamita's coming towards him and ran right to a boot. Andrews trying to get on the second rope. Got caught with Enziguri. Muscle Buster. Into a code breaker. Nice. I like that move for Flamita. That was dope.
And Flamita going to the top rope.
Muscle Buster into a code breaker. That was actually dope. Frog splash.
Frog splash from Flamita, but he's not done there. Not enough.
Flamita frog splash and immediately went back up to the top. 450.
450. Come on.
Hooks the leg.
Oh my God.
Andrews kicks out.
Wow. Well, Flamita might have floated into Gatwick this morning,
kicked
but
out.
he's flying all over the electric ballroom at the moment. Incredible.
That Muscle Buster with code breaker was cool, though. That was pretty cool.
Flamita. That's very good. Well done. Thanks.
That was pretty cool.
How did Mark Andrews kick out? I mean, we've seen Mark Andrews kick out of the most improbable attacks before.
Flamita tried to come in with a kick. Andrews responded in kind. And a daze?
Well scouted.
Oh, nope, side effect.
Sit out there from Mark
Gotta do a
Andrews.
side effect.
Going shooting star, Callum.
Andrews then immediately went to the top rope. Shooting star. Oh, he caught knees. He caught knees.
Got him hooked.
Oh.
Stun Dog Millionaire.
Stun Dog Millionaire by Andrews. Spanish fly. Flamita caught him with a Spanish fly.
2, 3.
And got the 3.
Yeah.
Stun Dog Millionaire by Andrews. And Andrews ran directly into a Spanish fly to get it done. Nicely done, Flamita.
Nicely done.
Good pin.
Yeah, literally. Matt Riddle, Tyler Bate.
Oh, this will be good. Matt Riddle, who obviously is one of the proud alums of the Monster Factory, as you've plugged many times.
Yes.
Who's clearly gone on to bigger and better things, and we think will do even more bigger and better things. Tyler Bate, who I think can seriously run this year for a lot of the stuff he's doing. Tyler Bate is he might actually be better as a heel. I'm torn with him as a heel or a face. Like, which is he better as? Like, he can play that young underdog really well, like he does in WWE. But he plays a tremendous heel. Really does. Clean Brittle's got some. He's sporting the title there. He's got a belt
The
there.
Progress Atlas title.
It's what, their Intercontinental title?
Their heavyweight
Oh, the
champion.
world title.
It's their heavyweight championship because it's anybody above 205 pounds.
Ah. And he goes directly to Tyler Bate. That's a nice belt, though. That's just a nice belt.
The following contest is the second Super Strong Style 16 semi-final match. Introducing the two competitors, first of all, in the corner to my right, hailing from Dudley in the West Midlands, and weighing in at 175 pounds. He is one half of the Progress Tag Team Champions. This is Tyler Bate!
He throws the jacket at the ref. He throws the jacket at the ref.
To my left, weighing at 216 pounds and hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada. He is the reigning Progress Atlas Division Champion, Matt Riddle!
Obligatory streamers. Not for the title, but the obligatory streamer is the Universal Champion. And clearly the crowd favorite. This will actually be entertaining. Hey, this will be entertaining. And the crowd is coming at Tyler Bate extra hard right now. Bate is
Classic soccer champ there.
Yep. The crowd is in full throw for this match. They definitely want to see Bate go down. So Bate removes the socks. The crowd's into this heavy. So Bate's gonna go barefoot. All right. Bate's gonna go barefoot to counteract Riddle. He's not expecting that. Or maybe it's because since Riddle's going barefoot, they don't want Bate to have that kind of advantage. Maybe that's why. The point is, they're both barefoot. And here we go.
The second of our semi-final matches
and here we go.
16, we already have Travis Banks.
Riddle's clearly got the size and the weight advantage on Bate.
The semi-final pitch, two men who recently had an encounter in Manchester.
And
which didn't really come to
Riddle looked like he wants to destroy Tyler Bate.
Interference of Trent Seven, so it was actually that day won by
Riddle, he's preparing to rip him apart.
Here between Tyler Bate and Matt Riddle is that Tyler Bate appears to be fighting Matt Riddle at his own game.
How the commentator's body and Tyler Bate. Yo,
the crowd's body and Tyler Bate right now.
Yep.
To me, he's just put himself at a severe disadvantage. Matt Riddle is
the guy got a bit of an exchange, waistlock exchange, although they're mat wrestling.
You've got to imagine that he's
Riddle's got position, trying to turn it into an arm breaker. It does have a bit of a cross arm breaker on him. But he can't look at the legs, and he's trying to stay away from the feet. Oh, no, he's not. Actually, no, he's not.
That's exactly what you were talking about right there. The ankle lock straight
He's trying to go to the ankle lock.
Anybody who's ever been in the wrestling ring, and RJ, you can attest to this. Pro results there, maybe alluding to the size.
They don't necessarily like
Tyler Bate.
No.
Gives himself just that couple of minutes to breathe, regather his thoughts.
Round two.
So, the wrestling boots, as you will attest to, RJ, offer a lot of support for the ankle.
Let me see, there are probably plenty of chants from this crowd that seem harmless, but if we do their meeting, it would probably not end well.
Essentially, he's putting himself at a disadvantage here against somebody who's used to being barefoot in the...
Exchanging waistlots, and now a headlock as Bate has a position.
Going barefoot does leave you vulnerable.
It's kind of a little bit of a crossface there. But now Riddle, the strength of Riddle, and Bates got his feet, got his legs kind of wrapped around him, and then gets whipped down. Nice takedown by Riddle. Still filling each other out.
You don't want to do that, Tyler Bate.
No.
Live champion as well. But he is...
something tells me it's probably not wise. I mean, you know Riddle more than I, but something tells me that's not wise.
No.
Tyler was, of course, the WWE UK champion since losing that title at NXT TakeOver 2 Pete Dunne, which you've got to had a brief conversation with Tyler last night.
As they lock wrists, lock hands.
Taking something away from
Waist lock.
Tyler Bate.
Nice takedown. Waist lock takedown.
He's very.
And now he's wrapping the legs.
That's how it used to be.
And
a lot of
Riddle's trying to use his reach to kind of get him to break the hold, but he's got him a little bit of a surfboard. And yep, he's got the arm.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates. Maybe do all have their own agendas.
And he's got the leg. Leg wrapped. And it looks like he's still trying to crossface it, yet now he's got the headlock. Nice transition there. And then Riddle turns into an arm bar.
Right now, back in the ring, we've got fantastic back and forth action from these two.
And this turns into a cross arm breaker. Ooh, can he get Bate to unlock the hands for the full cross arm breaker to go out? And he's got the toes on the ropes. So the ref he has to break the hold. The ref will DQ.
Play here than just the dynamic between British Strong Stylers. Matt Riddle now standing over the young man from Dudley, the former WWE UK champion.
They're doing a song.
Very adept at grappling. Ground-based attack, also very powerful for a guy of his size. I'd say he could probably match power with Matt Riddle.
For his lacking stature, he certainly is.
As he's getting paintbrush with his elbow.
Do we have in progress?
Get paintbrush with the elbows, though.
He's letting Matt Riddle know exactly what he
Tyler Bate, we'll hate Tyler Bate.
And then Riddle came in and promptly chopped him right in the chest. And then pushed his momentum back into the corner, but nothing but forearms. Riddle's... Nope. Riddle got countered. Nice counter by Bate. And then they traded forearms. Riddle won. They traded forearms right in the face, and Riddle won that particular discussion. Bate fell all the way out to the outside of the ring.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Riddle has no idea where he is. Bate has no idea where he is. Nice overhand chop.
arm strike into the face of Tyler Bate.
Bate has no idea where he was.
Riddle over the top.
Riddle's coming in. Stinger splash. Oh, no, Stinger forearm. Kind of a splash into a forearm. Exploder suplex.
And a huge
Nice. Nice exploder suplex.
Matt Riddle now all played to his. Oh, here comes the senton.
Senton.
Crashing down. Makes the cover.
All the way on Bate. He hooks the leg. And a kick out by Tyler Bate.
And Matt Riddle just taking a
Nicely
moment of
done.
calm here.
Now we'll talk about this later on, RJ, when ultimately we get to the final of the tournament. But these guys are on day 3 now, and
Nice kick. They're trading kicks. Bate's still down. They were trading kicks, and I'm not sure even standing, Bate can... A nice waist lock. Nice
Gut
waist
wrench.
Gut wrench. Into a suplex. Riddle rolls through. And it flips position. That was nice. That was nice. Bate's trying to reach for a rope.
Popping the hips by Matt Riddle there.
He still has the waist lock. Rolls through again.
Day 1, we urge you to go back into Mad Progress and see the...
It turns into a gut wrench. Kind of a toss. Or a power bomb.
The classic main event of day 1 that was the...
Flipped into a power bomb, which is actually pretty dope.
Of Trent 7 by 1, Matt Riddle.
They're talking about the match where Trent 7 got disposed of by Riddle.
Matt Riddle to Tyler Bate before today, but how much insight you can get 6
Simon's carry.
Got to watch out for that knee strike. Might be going for the brogue to sleep.
No. Bate gets out of it. With the doubles. Ooh, nice forearm.
Forearm has rocked Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle got rocked. Spinning discus kick.
Pump kick.
Spinning pump kick. Yeah, Riddle got caught clean in the face. And a kick out.
And that was straight to the face there. Really did rock Riddle.
Oh, let it be known the Too Sweet thing became a fad. It so became a fad. You only really hear it on NXT anymore. And then he's got the arm.
Pushes the right hand.
He's got a bit of an arm bar.
Trying to hyperextend it.
Oh, he's going for the fingers. Nope.
This weekend, Jack Sexsmith.
He's got the wrist down. And... Ooh, steps on the back of the elbow.
And that goes like a shockwave down your forearm.
Stepped on the back of the elbow, which clearly hurts the wrist. The wrist was compacted. And now he had him in the ankle lock. And steps over. So he can go STF here. There's a lot of routes he can go here. Nope, instead Riddle rolls through. Bates it too long. Oh, nice ankle whip. He kind of ankle whipped the left ankle. Kick in the back. If he can't walk, yeah. No, he did not. Instead, he gets kicked in the chest. He eats the kick. He said, "You got to come harder than that." He said, "Mate, you got to go harder than that." Nope. He said, "Nah, Tyler, you got to come harder than that."
Matt Riddle spent a lifetime training.
He was like, "No, you got to go harder than that."
Strike it in.
Ooh, he stepped on the foot. He stepped on the foot. That was semi-dirty, and I like it. Nicely done, Tyler Bate. Nicely done.
Now he's going back to the...
Nice roll through. He basically just rolled onto him. He didn't even try to do anything.
Somersaulted over onto the...
That's effectively what he did. He basically somersaulted. He even... Oh, no. Oh, no. You warned us earlier about trading feet with Matt Riddle.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Bate found out firsthand why. And then the knife edge chop. It's clearly Matt. Oh, and another one. Jeez. Riddle's striking game is ridiculous. If Bate's finding out in every way, shape, or form. Bate tried to get his foot up, got caught, and then lifted the knee instead. Oh, get tagged!
Permission.
Get tagged! And Bate jumped right into it. Bate unlocked the arm and try to relieve some pressure around his neck. He can still go to sleep. Now his arm is trapped. And Riddle's riding him. And remember the weight advantage I told you about. The weight advantage.
But that Bate's pretty strong.
Bate is very strong, despite him being small. He's also getting elbowed in the neck. And now, what a transition! Can he tombstone him? No, get caught, get countered, and then Bate flips it around. Oh, Gotch tombstone. And he spiked him on the back of the head. And the kick out by Riddle. So did. He looked like he was done.
And there you go, there's the power play between these two. As I said earlier, in terms of strength,
Bate on the low is actually very, very strong.
Straight punch into the face of Matt Riddle there.
Ooh, nice chop. Nice chop by Bate.
Into the chest of Bate.
Nice chop by Bate.
Punches.
And then now they're throwing hands.
Now the two men trading off with big forearms in the middle of the Progress ring.
And now they're trading hands.
By Riddle. Bate off the ropes. German release suplex.
Nice German. And Riddle's up. This might not end so well.
Bate goes for it again. Another
German suplex rolls through.
Straight back up. Misses with a kick.
He's going for it again.
Riddle lands on his feet. Oh, and eats a punch from Bate coming in.
What a punch.
Very well scattered by Tyler Bate. You have to give him his props for that.
Throw to sleep.
Throw to sleep. Into a German. Beautiful German with a bridge. Love that transition right there by Riddle. And yes, the bro to sleep is exactly like the go to sleep. Although Riddle turned it instantly into a German, which I thought was nice.
We've already seen one incredible contest between Zack Sabre Jr. and Travis Banks in the other semi-final of the Super Strong Style 16. Of course, with Travis Banks winning and coming on to the final. And we've got another classic semi-final here.
Let's not forget what's at stake at the end of this. Whoever wins this tournament gets a guaranteed title shot for the Progress World Championship.
Matt Riddle could
Riddle
become a
is
dual
digging
champion
this.
if he wins this tournament and then goes on to be the Progress champion, whoever it is at the time. But his main concern right now is...
And then they're trading knife edge chops on their knees. And then trading chops on their knees. And a nice forearm. And Riddle did not like that.
Oh, those huge...
He's just throwing forearms. He's throwing punches to the gut. Riddle's coming back with offense. Kick. Bate comes off the corner. Nice Pele.
The up kick.
Here comes the Fisherman's Buster.
Fisherman Buster.
Makes the cover.
And he hooks both legs.
He holds on.
Yeah, Bate kicked out. And then Riddle hooked the second leg. He jumped right into a tombstone. This was nice. Oh, the jumping tombstone. Oh, the jumping tombstone. Bate landed on the back of his neck. And a kick out.
Tyler Bate managing to kick
Oh, man.
I don't know where Tyler Bate found the strength from that.
That was
Just
nice.
on instinct. But he saves himself. He's still
That
very
was
much in
nice.
this tournament.
That's the other amazing part about Riddle. Like, I haven't seen him as much as you, obviously, but his ability to transition offense and do one big move after another big move is another part about Riddle that makes him great.
He doesn't come over to Progress from...
Yeah, man. Part of the reason why he had a spectacular rookie year last year. And, oh, nice. Bate comes back. Rolling Liger kick.
Rolling kick by Tyler Bate.
Going tile driver. Tile driver 97. Nope. Riddle rolls through. And kicks him to the side of the head. And a knee. Oh, what a knee. That knee was so sudden. And Bate kicked out.
Tyler Bate kicked out of the big knee. That's the same knee.
What a knee.
This is nuts.
What a knee. What a knee.
Tyler Bate looks absolutely rocked. And Matt Riddle is like...
Riddle on the low might be a better version of what Test could have been.
Look at the
I just got like his facial expression, like he's a smaller, quicker.
PK.
Penalty kick into the face of...
And Bate ate it and got up.
Bate off the second rope.
Nice. Corkscrew elbow.
Diving uppercut.
Diving uppercut, I should say. Diving uppercut. Hooks him up.
Tyler
Tyler's Driver
Driver.
97. Nope. No, he's going for it again.
Immediately transitions.
As he should.
Another one.
Goes for a second one. This time he sits down
Two.
and gets the 3.
Tyler Bate is going to
Nice.
the final of Super Strong Style 16.
Bate goes to the final.
This match qualifying for the final of Super Strong.
Nicely done. Bate gets it done. And Bate went clean too. That was good stuff.
That was good stuff. Ooh.
So where are we gonna go next?
I don't know. Oh.
I'm sure we probably got time for one more before the Imperfect Talk show at noon.
Yes, we do.
So that was solid stuff. So now let's see. The Decooch is like looking through the library here, looking through the library, good stuff.
Library of good stuff. Yes.
So
Riddle, Kyle O'Reilly.
more Riddle stuff. More Riddle stuff. No, Rashid. I was just looking through my Facebook feed. As everyone's basically saying their championship team could beat the Warriors. Rashid Wallace said their 2004 team could beat Golden State.
No.
They're way too slow. Defensively, they were amazing, but they're way too slow.
They have the 3-point shooting to do it.
No, the 3-point shooter was not the
Billups
strong
was
point.
great.
Billups was a good 3-point shooter. Rip Hamilton's a decent shooter. Tayshaun Branson's a decent shooter. Rashid can certainly shoot.
And then you have Ben
And
Wallace.
Ben Wallace in the paint is outstanding defensively. They'd have to make this as ugly of a game as you could possibly make it to beat Golden State. They don't have the athleticism.
No.
They have the defense, but they don't have the athleticism to deal with Golden State. Getting Kyle O'Reilly.
Those all when Lakers could beat them, though.
With Shaq dominating the paint and a young Kobe. Owen Lakers might beat them. Owen Lakers, 96 Bulls.
Do you think 83 Sixers could beat them?
They have a shot. Yeah, 83 Sixer team has a real shot.
That was one of the greatest teams in NBA history.
That was one of the great champions ever. The 83 Sixer team. You get Doc in his prime. You got Moses in his prime. They completely destroyed everyone in front of them, including the Lakers. The defending champion Lakers, who still had a young Magic and a prime Kareem. Let's see. I'm just thinking like best champions of their respective eras. 86 Celtics, I think would have a shot.
Bad Boy Pistons.
Which Pistons team was better?
Isaiah.
89 or 90? No, I'm saying which one of them was better, 89 or 90?
I think the 90.
I think the 90 team was better, yeah, because Dennis Rodman was a more well-rounded Dennis Rodman, so I'd probably say the 90 team was better. Of the 5 Spurs champions, that 2014 team was dominant.
I would go with the 97 Spurs.
We didn't win in 97.
Which 90s?
99. We won in 99. That was a still prime David Robinson and a Tim Duncan who wasn't the Duncan that we come to know, but he was becoming the franchise Duncan. So Duncan was on the verge of being that franchise Tim.
Mavericks?
That 2011 team, no, they couldn't be. They couldn't be.
No,
Golden
what
State.
about the 2006 team?
They didn't win it that year.
No, who won?
The Heat won it.
The Heat won that year.
That was the Dwayne Wade carried Heat team.
No, not the 2006 team.
That was one of the worst champions ever. Keep in mind,
Maybe runners-up 01 Sixers?
No, Iverson could counteract Curry, but they don't have anyone that can counteract Durant,
Right.
Or Durant or Thompson. Mutombo would own the paint in that series. Don't get me wrong; he would own Draymond Green, but they didn't have anyone else that could have carried. That was a one-man carry job by Iverson.
WWN Championship.
That's the belt that's on the line. Riddle is the reigning champion. No, the Spurs. The 2014 Spurs were the best of the Spurs teams. The '99 team you could argue because we still had a Prime Robinson and a Prime Duncan, a before Prime Duncan, who was top 5 player in the game at that time.
What other years did Spurs win?
03, 05, 07. And
I was thinking 05 Spurs were the best of that Spurs. Because
because that was Ginobili, who was becoming a top 10 player in the league. That was Duncan, who was already there, and a Parker, who was top 15.
Right.
See, you had 3 of the top 15, and a good bench, and Robert Horry.
Yeah,
that's a debatable one. 05 Spurs, you could debate.
Who won in 03?
03 was the Spurs. 02 was the Lakers. That was
the 3-peat.
That was Kobe becoming the Kobe that we knew. He
Do
really
you
became
think
that
those later Lakers teams could beat the Warriors?
09 or 2010?
Yeah.
A healthy Bynum, as we're getting into the match here. O'Reilly's caught. And O'Reilly with the strength. He's got Riddle wrapped up. Unlike Bate, O'Reilly kept his boots on. And there was a triangle choke by Riddle, who's got him, who pushed O'Reilly went back to the ropes. To answer your question, 2009 or 2010 Lakers, who basically had the same squad.
Bynum?
A healthy Bynum wasn't there in 2009. He was there in 2010. Bynum hurt himself in 2009. Lakers still won because Kobe was really good, and Paul Gasol was tremendous. 2010's Lakers, very, very debatable. Because you got those 3, you got Lamar Odom, a young Trevor Ariza. You got a son. That 2010 Laker team and a nice one-legged figure 4 by O'Reilly as this Riddle that goes to the ropes. 2010 Lakers could put up a fight, but they would still lose. They would own the
Which
paint.
team
They're
has the
supposed
best
to paint.
chance of beating the Warriors?
This Warriors team?
Yeah. Do you think Jordan has...
The 96 Bulls, I think, could beat them.
No, 96.
96 could have beaten them. 96 would have beaten them. Had Orlando won it in 95, I think that Magic team would have beaten them. The way that Magic team was constructed, you had a first prime Shaq and a superstar Penny Hardaway, and a tremendous starting 5 that can shoot with them, and beat you up in the paint.
So you think the 95 Magic could
95
beat?
Magic would really have beaten them? I think so. I think 95 Magic.
Who was the best team that didn't win the title?
02 Kings. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna take the 02 Kings. They would be a bad matchup for Golden State because they don't have the speed. But the 02 Kings, they were the best NBA team to not win the championship.
Who was on the 02 Kings team?
That was the
Weber.
Bibby, Weber, Stojakovic, Doug Christie.
Oh, right.
That was the PJ Carlissimo team. That was Vlade Divac still in his prime. That was a squad that
was like the European nightmare.
They won 62 games and they got completely jobbed in Game 6 of that series against the Lakers. And that effectively, and the Kings haven't been right since.
No.
As Riddle and O'Reilly are changing forearms, the lighting is not great in this particular arena. Probably because of the sun. They're trading Kings, and Riddle's down.
And then
I think the 02 Kings, 95 Magic, 2010 Celtics was a really good team not to win the title. 2013 Spurs.
do you think the Celtics team, the big 3?
The 08 Celtics team has a real shot. Yeah, they have a real shot.
I think Prime Rondo.
You got
Prime Rondo.
No, he wasn't even prime at that time. He was pre-prime Rondo. Riddle, jumping forearm into the corner.
And there's a dude cosplaying as Nakamura in the back.
Nice Northern Lights. And this time it was a release. And Riddle couldn't really lock the arm. Nice jumping senton.
See the guy cosplaying
Oh
as
yeah, I see that.
Nakamura.
Yeah, I see that. Yo, I see that. Yeah, there's a dude seriously with the red Nakamura jacket and the half the half buzzed hair and the full long hair on the other side. That actually is pretty legit. Back to it. Yeah, so title teams, like top 5 teams, have a real shot to beat this Lakers team. Beat this Warriors team. In no particular order, I'm going to say nice gut wrench, the gut wrench suplex.
Do you think last year's Cavs could beat this year's Warriors team? No.
They're basically the same team plus Kevin Love. Basically the same team. Release gut wrench. No. That Cavaliers team was clearly hungrier because they got beaten by 20 in 2015, and LeBron had the carry job 2015s without Kyrie and Kevin Love. But no, they wouldn't beat this Warriors team. The 2013 Heat team, as O'Reilly's going to work. O'Reilly going to work with that combination. 2013 Heat team, when they still prime Bosh, and they still prime Wade, and they obviously prime Braun.
As a cover by O'Reilly for a near fall. Now he goes to the arm.
That's a hard one. I would say no, though. No. I'd say no to that.
Kyle O'Reilly had accompanied
Any of those 70 Celtics teams, would they have a shot against the Warriors?
Any of those 70s or 80s Celtics? 86 Celtics I think could have a real shot. As Deku's kind of drifting back and forth, as he's talking about looking for champions.
Looking for the list. Oh, let's do NBA champions.
Yes.
Let's chalk up anything before 75. 75 Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that was their last title before 2015. Okay, so 75 and up?
75 and up.
Okay, let's see. That Knicks team was good in 76, but 73, but no. But we go in 75 and up. Okay. Let's see here. The match is continuing on. That 76 Celtics team had a great game with Phoenix.
I think that 78 Supersonics team was good.
A productive team in 78, but they lost to the Washington Bullets. And Seattle came back in 79 to win the rematch. Let's see here. Let's see here. The 80 Laker team, that was rookie Magic and Kareem and Worthy. Those 80 Lakers teams have put up a real fight, especially the early Lakers teams. Early 80 Lakers.
83 Sixers.
83 Sixers has a real shot. That's got a real shot. The best Magic Kareem teams, I'd probably say 82.
Let's look at the lineup for the 83 Sixers.
That's Moses, who's the best player. That's Doc, who's an excellent player. Mo Cheeks, excellent point guard. Andrew Toney is a brilliant defensive guard.
It's Moses Malone, Clinton Richardson, Irving, Ivaroni, Mo Cheeks.
Yep. Yeah, Toney off the bench.
Yeah, this team has a shot.
This Sixers team, because they steamrolled everyone in route to the title. That was a 65-win team. They steamrolled everyone to the title, and they were a tremendous team. 83 Sixers would have a real shot. They'd have a real shot. Because you have Moses dominating in the paint. You have Julius on the perimeter, and Mo Cheeks, who's a very smart point guard.
We went with the 90.
And Toney is an excellent
Detroit
player.
Pistons team. So that's Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, John Sally.
Yeah.
Gerald Henderson.
They were big, physical. Isaiah.
Joe Dumars.
Yeah. A tremendous backcourt that can rival Clay and Steph.
Yeah, with Dumars and Thomas.
Yeah.
Plus the height. The height on this team.
Physicality, too. Now, that would depend on which version of the NBA you would get. Are you going to get the 90s version or are you going to get this version? If you get the 1990 version, Detroit wins. Because the only guy... Because Draymond Green can bang with that style, but he's maybe the only guy that might bang with it. I can go... Even without the list, I can go from...
96.
From 88 on, I can go and tell you.
Do you think those Rockets teams could beat them? With Hakeem,
you had for 2 years. Hakeem was the best player because Jordan wasn't in the league. But Kenny Smith, a Robert Ory, a prime Robert Ory, a really good Mario Elie.
Robert Ory's won a lot of titles.
Ory's won 7.
Holy mackerel! Well, he's won 2 with the Spurs.
Yep. 2 with the Spurs, 3 with the Lakers, 2 with the Rockets.
Damn.
Yeah, the Ori had the 3 best big men, and the four best big men in the 90s, 2000s. Actually, no, he didn't have Robinson. So he had the 3 best big men in the 90s, 2000s, and Shaq, Duncan, and Hakeem. And Hakeem. He actually came out and tried to put the Spurs on a game, thinking Hakeem was better than Duncan. I don't see it. Hakeem was excellent, but I don't think he's better than Tim. I can go through. Yeah, I can go through it from '88 on. I can go through and say, do I think that champion would have beaten Golden State? '88 Lakers.
No.
As an aging Kareem and a Magic who was
almost
done,
got AIDS.
was almost done. The early Laker team, the '82 Lakers, I think could have a real shot. And of the Celtics teams in the '80s, I got '86 because of their passing.
Do you think Bill Russell could match up with
those
early Celtics
super
teams?
early teams?
Because you had Bill Russell.
They have squad. Those Celtics teams have squad.
You had that other player. I forget his name.
Russell and Kuzi. They go to sleep into a German. Go to sleep German to a bridge and a kick out. I know we've been.
I know. Celtics. I know Celtics had a really good player in between Bill Russell and
Dave Cowens?
Dave Cowens. Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe the 76 Celtics. Maybe. I would say no, but the 76 Celtics you can put up a fight for.
Dave Cowens.
Let's see.
Cowens gets forgotten in a lot of those.
Riddle rolls through the German suplex. And Riley has him in a guillotine.
You think the 95 Magic could beat?
95 Magic, I think, could have beaten him. Yeah, I really do. I think they're the best non-champion to match up with this Golden State team. As O'Reilly's got him in the triangle.
Not even the 02 Kings?
In terms of a matchup, that's even more of a matchup nightmare because that Magic team was athletic. That was really athletic. Nice Northern Lights. But Riddle reverses it. Riddle gets reversed. O'Reilly's got him in a guillotine. Yeah, in terms of non-champions, the 95 Magic, they were the best non-champion matchup against Golden State. Because of their young athleticism, they have shooting, pretty good defensively, especially with Shaq in the paint. Nice fisherman's busted.
I would say the 05 Spurs.
I think our best title team was 2014. I think that was our best team.
Really?
Yeah, I think because of the passing, because you have
even in the aging realm,
even with Duncan, who was still very good, Tony Parker, who was still peak of powers, Kawhi Leonard, who didn't even get to peak of powers at that time. This is when Kawhi Leonard broke out.
I know
the star that he is.
I know, but
I think that because of the passing and because of the depth and because of the defense and because of the coaching of Popovich and how hungry that team was. People don't. I don't know. Forget this, but they understand how hungry that team was after what he did in 2013. That team was hungry, and the title or nothing. That they all came back because of the title. They all thought about retiring, which gets completely lost in all this. That Spurs team thought about retiring. Not Pop, but Duncan, Tony, and Manu. They all thought about retiring after 2015. That's how devastating that loss was in 2013. And they all came back just to get the title back. And there you have it. And that's what led to...
They played another, 2 years.
That's what led to Pop... That's what led to... the style they played. That's what led to the switching up of the style. That's what led to everything the Spurs did in route to that title.
I still don't think this 2017 Spurs could beat... With Kawhi, could beat the Warriors. They could take 2 games.
They had the best shot this year.
They had the best shot.
And I think they would have beaten them because the way Kawhi was playing and the way San Antonio matched up with Golden State, they were the one team that gave them problems.
I thought Houston could have beaten Cleveland, honestly.
Oh, Houston would have beaten Cleveland. No, the top 3 teams in the West would have all beaten Cleveland. San Antonio could have beat them in 5 with the way that San Antonio plays Cleveland.
Harden's just playing on another level. So.
Harden, up until Game 6 against us, Harden was playing really well. And Ginobili basically ripped his heart out with that block. As both guys are down, and they've been wrestling with a tremendous exchange. I know we've really drifted away from this match.
No, we got into the finals talk. This has been a really good matchup.
Yes. As both guys are completely spent. Both guys are completely spent.
96 Bulls are definite.
That's a team that would have beaten them. 95 Magic would beat them. I think 90 Pistons has a real shot.
90 Pistons have a real shot.
08 Celtics has a real shot. You're talking 4 All-Stars. And they're all 3 of them in their prime, and the last one in Rondo, who was before prime. Plus Boston had enough grit and grime and determination to win a chip that year. So I think that team could win against Golden State. I understand you're thinking about any of the 5 Spurs teams. I understand you're thinking about it being 0-2.
You mean 05?
Or 5, because
you look at the roster.
You have Prime Ginobili, Prime Parker, and Elite Duncan.
And that bench was incredible.
And that bench was very good. And they're another team that can grit and grind you to death because of their defense. Ooh, nice.
I want to look at that 05 Spurs roster.
We'll look at it.
Oh, okay.
Runner Wall 3, nice sit out powerbomb.
1, 2, no.
Oh, nice. Got a triangle choke? A beautiful counter by O'Reilly. Basically using Riddle against it. Riddle, his size against him. Riddle's in deep trouble. Elbows to the back of the head. And Riddle's trying to stack him. Riddle's got him stacked up. O'Reilly's shoulder is not down.
You think this Pittsburgh Penguins team could beat the 84-85?
Or the Oilers team that was rated the best ever?
Yeah.
The 86 Oilers team? No.
Riddle reaching for the ropes now.
I would say
that would be Crosby Gretzky.
Crosby v. Gretzky. And you got Messier v. Malkin. You have Yuri Curry, and I think the third best player is probably Kessel.
And then Kunitz versus
Anderson. No, Tombstone. Jumping Tombstone. Actually, kind of turned into a power slam a little bit.
Bro mission.
And they got the bro mission. And O'Reilly's caught in the center of the ring. O'Reilly is trapped. And Riddle's got him, and O'Reilly's tapping. Riddle retains.
Let's look at that 05 Spurs.
All right, so let's see. So we're just going through it. Golden State's steamrolled everyone, so we're basically putting up teams that could have matched up and could have had a real shot against them. So here we go. D-Coons thinks the 05 Spurs were the best of the 5 Spurs teams. That team.
I would take Bruce Bowen over. No, I wouldn't take Bruce Bowen over Kawhi. What am I saying?
No, bro. Kawhi is Bowen with a more all-around game. Kawhi's got a way better offensive game. Bowen was an excellent defensive player, and this side of Benoit was the best defensive player that year.
I would take the Spurs bench over.
San Antonio's bench had
Ori, Robinson, and Barry.
Glenn Robinson, Brent Barry, and Benno Udrich.
And Benno Udrich. And
Udrich was a decent backup point guard. Ori was the best player on this bench by far. And Nesterovic is basically there to kind of like give Nazir Muhammad a rest. And then Glenn Robinson was meh. Nothing super special, but he was meh on the bench. He barely played. Ginobili was productive. But this was peak O Powers Ginobili, who you remember won the gold medal for Argentina, and then did his thing in 04, and then 05 was back
Spurs.
and was the chip. I think this 14 Spurs team, because of the way they're passing and their style of play.
Patty Mills, Danny Green,
this Spurs team could beat the Lakers team.
Matt Bonner.
Yeah.
If you have this version of the Spurs team this year.
You have productive Ginobili. You have still close to peak of powers Duncan. You have peak of powers Parker. You have Kawhi Leonard, who didn't even get to peak of powers until this series with the
Heat. Splitter.
Series with the Heat. Thiago, who was productive.
Splitter's better than Muhammad.
And then you have Boris Diaw, who is a tremendous passing big man, who actually led the finals in assists. And he came off the bench for a lot of that series.
I thought that 02 New Jersey Nets team was really good.
The 02 Nets team has no shot against Golden State.
No.
You have a very good Jason Kidd and a pretty cooked Dikembe Mutombo, but you have that team had no shot against Golden State.
What about the 99 Knicks? The 2000 Pacers actually have a shot.
The 2000 Pacers had still prime Reggie Miller, and it's still decent. Those 90 Pacers, I think, were better than the 2000 Pacers. The 99 Knicks, who the 8th seed that made the finals, you had...
they weren't really neat.
A healthy Patrick Ewing... No, they were an 8th name only because of the lockout. A healthy Patrick Ewing... Okay, but Ewing was cooked at that time. Jalen Rose was... Yeah, that was
Mark Jackson, Chris Mullin.
Yep. Yeah, Perkins was a very good three-point shooter off the bench. Rick Smith was a solid center. Dale Davis, very productive. Jalen Rose was becoming a good player. Reggie Miller was still the best player on that team. But no, I don't think they would have beaten them. They would have beaten them.
No. The Warriors.
08 Celtics has a shot. I think the 08 Celtics have a real shot. You're still talking a elite Garnett and a still prime Paul Pierce is really good, and a still prime Ray Allen is really good, and it's still
Ray
productive.
Allen,
Rajon
Tony
Rondo.
Allen, P.J. Brown, Sam
Yeah, young
Castle,
Tony Allen.
Glenn
Sam
Big
Cassell.
Baby Davis,
Yep,
of
Glenn
course.
Davis was productive. Kendrick Perkins, who was really good. Kendrick Perkins was a bull in the middle of the paint. He basically punked out Paul Gasol in that series. That's where Paul Gasol's name came from. Where basically
Kendrick
Perkins. They would have won
This
2010
was-
if Perkins not gotten healthy and Perkins not gotten hurt. That Celtics team could have actually beaten them. That had a real shot. So that's what I'm saying. Like the teams going through all of them from 89 on, or 86 Celtics think would have beaten them.
96 Bulls.
96 Bulls would have been in terms of actual champions. 96 Bulls would have beaten them. Let's see, 97 and 8 were also Bulls. And they weren't better than 96. 99 Spurs.
Curry's better than Harper. Jordan's better than Thompson.
Right. Pippen's better than Pippen and Durant. I probably go Durant here.
I would go Durant.
I go Durant there.
I go
Even though
Green.
Pippen's got great
I go
defense.
Green over Rodman.
I wouldn't. Robin. I love Robin's
I
defense.
love Draymond. That's why.
Okay, I go Robin there.
And
Was he
Zaza,
the centers?
I would go Zaza
over Longley.
over Longley.
Probably
Bench.
slightly.
Mr. Kerr. Mr. Kerr.
Yeah, Steve Kerr, Willington's. Tony Kukoc off the bench is the other part.
Tony
Kukoc's the best player
Kukoc,
off this bench.
Yeah.
I did a 96 Bulls. Considering the way they were coached, I will go 96 Bulls.
Yeah.
It would go 7, but I'll go 96 Bulls. That's a 72 and 10 Bulls team. Let's see here. We got 99 Spurs. I think I would have had a real shot because you still got Prime Robinson and before Prime Duncan, but he was still really good. You had still good Avery Johnson and still very good Sean Elliott. Elliott was the best perimeter player at the time. That Spurs team could have dominated it because of the paint. They would have completely destroyed Golden State in the paint with a young Duncan.
Who's better,
Prime.
Kukoc or Iguodala?
Kukoc. I think Kukoc is more rounded than Iggy. He was a better shooter. Kukoc was a better shooter than Iguodala was. And Iguodala is.
Yeah.
They're both great. Iguodala is better defensively. Iguodala was elite defensively at a time. It's still very good. But Kukoc was still held his own defensively at his best. Because he had to, because in the Olympics with the Dream Team, with Jordan and Pippen basically gave the orientation before Kukoc became a Bull. The 2000s champions, let's see. We got Lakers 2000 through 02. The 01 Lakers team has a shot because you got still rising Kobe and unstoppable Shaq.
Right.
Let's see. You've got 03 Spurs. I think the 05 Spurs are better than 03, so I'm going to say no to 03. Let's see. We got 04 Pistons. Defensively, they were outstanding and maybe the best defensive team we've ever seen. But I would probably say no because I don't think they can shoot with them. 05 Spurs, who beat those 04 Pistons, who beat the Pistons, who basically the same team, they would have had a decent chance, but I don't think they were the best of the 5 Spurs champions. 06 Heat, no. 07 Spurs, no. 08 Celtics has a real shot. 2010 Lakers, I think was better than 09 because Bynum was healthy. So I would say that team has got a decent chance. 2011 Mavericks, no. Even though Dirk's carried them. Either of the Heat teams, I think 2013 was slightly better because they understood and they knew.
I think the Warriors beat those Heat teams.
They would have beaten either of those Heat teams. 2014 Spurs could beat them. Could beat this Warriors team because of the way
they're a
passing.
lot more physical.
Their passing was better. You still have elite Duncan. You have Prime Parker. You have before Prime Leonard, who was becoming the Kawhi Leonard we know of today, who still had the elite defense. That 2014 Spurs team, because of the way they're passing, certainly would have beaten them. I think would have beaten Golden State. 2015's Warriors, obviously the read above line. 2016's Warriors or 2016's Cavs basically caused these Warriors. I would say no, and then this is where we are. This is and that's where we stand. So I'm going to say the only teams that would have beaten that I could say okay, this team could beat them.
83 Sixers.
83 Sixers, I could say. 86 Celtics. 90 Pistons have a real shot, but I would say no. I'd probably say the 83 Sixers too. I would say yes to 86 Celtics, yes to 2014 Spurs, yes to 97 Bulls, 97 Bulls, and 08 Celtics. Those are the 4.
My 5 were...
And then 83 Sixers would probably be 5th.
83 Sixers, 86 Lakers, right?
Celtics won in 86.
Celtics in 86.
They beat the Rockets in 86.
The 14 Spurs, the 08 Celtics, and the... Ooh. What was your 4th one?
I said
I agree year 4 plus the 83 Sixers.
Yeah, so it was 96 Bulls. It was 24
Oh, yeah,
Spurs.
96. How am I forgetting
How'd you
the
forget that
96
team?
Bulls?
How do you forget that 70 win team, the 72 win team?
Yeah.
But those were the. I think those were the 5. In terms of non-champions, the only 2 that I think that have a real shot are 95 Magic and the 95 Magic and 02 Kings.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 I think that have had a real shot. 2013 Spurs is basically 2014 Spurs, but Kawhi Leonard wasn't as good. So that's why I can't go 2013 Spurs. But I can go with the 95 Magic. They had the best non-championship team. I think they would have had a tremendous shot to beat the Golden State team that we know.
So that'll do it.
So that'll do it. Coming up next will be the Imperfect Talk Show with Deja.
Yes, it is 11:50 on Monco Radio, where music reminds me.
Comfort zone and that type.